Welcome into our Pickswise 2022-2023 NBA preview as we go over several different markets for you to wager on. And we will look at what we're calling waste for Wembanyama. Yes, the worst record in the NBA and the likelihood to get the number one overall draft pick. Who will have the distinction of getting that? It's an interesting thing to look at because we're seeing a generational type player, Bobby, that people are going to be lusting after. And if it doesn't start out good, teams could want it to go very bad very quickly. So where are you going?
I'm gonna go with San Antonio Spurs. If I look at their roster without any changes whatsoever, probably one of the least talented teams just from a starting five. And I know Popovich is not a guy who would want to tank, but this team isn't really going to have an option. I mean, you got Trey Jones, you got Trey Jones, you got Jakob Poeltl, maybe one of their best offensive players. Doesn't spell a recipe for success in the deeper conference over in the West. I'm going to go with the Spurs to have the worst record in the league next year.
I'm going to look to a team that lost one of their most pivotal players in the preseason. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder. Of course, Chet Holmgren, their number one overall pick for the team, goes down in the preseason. He's done. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, gets traded before Christmas. Somebody will come calling early for this guy because he's that talented of a scorer, and that leaves the cupboard pretty bare for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then to be able to take Wembanyama and put him with Holmgren, you have these two twin towers there that could be a huge, formidable force for this team going forward and quickly turning that program around. So I would look to the Oklahoma City Thunder here. Any other teams, Bobby, that possibly could get the distinction of having the worst record in the league?
Well, at first, we both agree with the West. It's probably one of the worst teams going to be coming out of the West. They're definitely one of the deeper conferences. We're going to see a historic level of tanking, I think, this season because this kid is that. The NBA may have to step in about how blatant it may become. Trades are going to change some things. If we look at the Indiana Pacers, I would say Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, as good as gone. But a team that I'm keeping an eye on to be at the bottom of the barrel, surprisingly, the Charlotte Hornets. They lose Miles Bridges. They lost LaMelo Ball for the beginning of the season. If they start out in shambles, they may just say, let's run it the whole rest of the way. So I would say the Hornets could be a surprise team. Maybe a team like the Trailblazers, if they start off flat, hey, give me Jeremy Grant and some other picks, and I'll keep the tank going to keep Dame happy maybe in the future. But we're going to see some teams. We're going to see a lot of disparity, I think, by the end of the season. And it's going to be fun for betting player props, I'll tell you that. But
Yeah,
who do you like?
I'm torn because, I'd love the Knicks to get Wembanyama, but, I don't want them to be that bad again. But regardless, if they're not, the Knicks are Ricky Bobby, right? If they're not first, they're last. So it doesn't matter what position they finish in otherwise.
Oh, it is in New York, sadly.
And they're not going to be first anytime soon. So why not tank for the guy? But, I mean, is it out of the realm of possibility to think that Orlando could be equally as bad, even with the addition of Orlando Banchero this year? There's just it's not a deep team at all. And if Banchero, not that I'm wishing for it, but if he misses time due to injury or anything else, this is a bad offensive team. And they're not good on the defensive end either. So I'm not really sure how they go about beating teams on a routine basis. It's not going to surprise me to see the Magic be a 20-win team again this year.
Yeah. No, they definitely they could be looming around at the bottom. I do like what they're building there. I do love the young core. Do they get a healthy Markelle Fultz? Who knows? I do love Banchero, but there's going to be teams. I'm telling you, we're going to be talking at Christmas, Mark, saying what the hell happened to blank, and we all know why. We know they're tanking for this kid. Hopefully, he gets the Giannis treatment, where by year 2 we just call him Victor, and everybody knows who we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Because when Wembanyama starts to get annoying to say and spell after a while, we have plenty of time to work on it, though. He's Bobby Holliday. I'm Mark Zinno. Thanks for watching us here on Pickswise. For more on the NBA season, go to Pickswise.com.